Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And welcome to another phobia-inducing installment of Tiki's Universe. That's right, it's the show where we talk about all things Star versus the forces of evil. Because Jacob, so Dragon and I, we talked about Steven Universe for the first time since May, right, Jacob?
Yep.
And let me tell you, that was a surreal conversation. That was like going from the heights of our Steven Universe coverage, where we were just so hyped up about the show, to we waited 6 months and they give us this. So, folks, I don't know. I just find it ironic and kind of humbling that, we started this whole cartoon recap thing with Steven Universe, and now Star vs. Forces of Evil is, the way more interesting show. So, Jacob, we are talking about Star vs. Forces of Evil, of course, and we're a little bit behind on this, folks. I apologize for that. I'm kind of in the process of starting a new job, but, of course, don't you love it when YouTubers just go on about their personal lives? Isn't that just something that you love to hear in the middle of videos? I'm going to stop myself now. So Jacob, tonight we're actually going to be doing two separate podcasts, folks. We're going to be doing the one we're recording right now, which is going to be talking about Death Peck and Ponymonium. And then we're going to do another podcast because, weirdly, Jacob, they aired two 11-minute episodes and then a 22-minute special episode in the same day on Thursday. So it's kind of weird. We almost got a bonus Star vs. Force of Evil episode out of nowhere, as far as I knew.
It seems like there's we're doing them on Thursdays. Oh crap, we're only supposed to do 4 days. That's an extra one.
Right, exactly. That's literally what it felt like. I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments can illuminate us on that.
Instead of waiting until Friday, let's do the extra one on Thursday. Because we make sense.
Okay, well, to be fair, Disney XD's airing schedule makes way more sense than Cartoon Network's airing schedule. All right, let's give them some credit where credit's due.
All right, I'm not good. Okay, I won't get into semantics then.
Anyway, so Jacob, I don't have a ton to say about these two episodes we're covering now, honestly, so that's kind of why I'm stalling to get to them. But Death Peck, Jacob, Death Peck was a very interesting episode for me. You know why?
Why is that?
Because this episode literally is a trigger for one of the big anxieties I have, which is it's a very weird phobia, Jacob. It's a very specific phobia, but I have an anxiety of basically getting grouped up on by huge numbers of something smaller than yourself. I actually think we kind of touched on this with remember Rick and Morty, the
squirrels.
Yeah, exactly. Jacob, that kind of stuff just gets to me.
I was just about to mention that regardless. I was like, the bird, Morty. You had to anger the bird, Morty. They're spies.
Man. And Jacob, I think the quintessential example of that I can give you is the chickens in the Legend of Zelda series.
The cuckoos?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Jacob, I will never forget, the first Zelda game I ever played was actually Link's Awakening, the OG portable Zelda game, the first Game Boy Zelda game. And, Jacob, I will never forget when I, when I was just I can kill all these chickens. This is fun. And I can get rubies, too. And then, oh, God. And then the chickens just all converge on you. And it's just, I don't know, Jacob. There's something just inherently disturbing about the concept. Are you with me at all with this?
Well, I don't share that exact phobia, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And they're called rupees, not rubies.
I am not the biggest Zelda person, so I apologize.
I know.
All right. So, Jacob, what do you think of Death Peck? Because you probably don't have that very, very specific phobia that I do with this episode.
Definitely got flashbacks to the birds.
Oh yeah, big time.
especially when they're pecking through the door.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure part of them was like, how can we make this episode like the birds? I'm sure somebody, at least during production, mentioned the birds.
Oh, I'm sure this episode, like, probably that was like on the drawing board from the get-go with this episode is the birds. I mean, how can you not think of it when you see this episode?
Yeah, especially considering some of the minimalist music even.
Right.
It's even in the style of the birds. We keep saying the birds a lot.
Yes.
The audience, don't take a drink every time we say the birds.
Oh God, please let's try not to turn it into a drinking game.
I'm just kidding.
All right. So Jacob, a couple things to note in terms of like the continuity of this show. I really love the continuity of this show, Jacob.
It's really pulling all the stops this season with the continuity.
They really are. Like, honestly, I think this is like kind of I don't necessarily think the episodes individually are better than Gravity Falls, but honestly, I think the way they're setting up all these stories and setting up all the characters and antagonists and, you know, the different sides, I honestly think it might be reaching a point where, at least from a storytelling point of view, it's slightly better than Gravity Falls.
That's definitely a bold statement considering it's Gravity Falls' status.
I mean, like I said, Gravity Falls, like, the thing with Gravity Falls is, like, each episode is, you know, like, just on an episode-by-episode ratio, I feel like Gravity Falls is, like, almost the perfect cartoon. So I'm not saying that Star is a better series by any stretch. And, of course, Gravity Falls had 2 seasons. Star is on its 3rd season, so really, it's not really a fair comparison, you know what I mean? But I don't know, Jacob. Like, I'm getting really swept up in this story. I really am. Just all the different sides, all the like the fact that of course, we'll talk about. Like, honestly, this is kind of like my reaction to sort of like the whole arc going forward is, you know, because Jacob, we have 5 episodes to talk about tonight, technically. So this is kind of getting my overall thoughts, But let's talk about one of the interesting things that's kind of developed in the last few episodes, which is Star's crusade to unite the humans and the monsters. So what do you think of that element, Jacob?
It's definitely kind of sprung out of nowhere. It's definitely still an interesting development in Star's character and showing her maturity.
Yeah, I was skeptical about it at first. I'll admit that, because like you said, it did kind of come out of nowhere. Jacob, honestly, you're a Harry Potter fan, right?
Yep.
You've read the books?
Yep.
Okay, good. So it reminded me of Spew.
Yep, it pretty much did.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
I mean, like, basically, she only started caring about the Monster Crusade once Eclipsa came around.
Exactly, right.
Because like the first 2 seasons, I'm gonna kick monster butt. But like Eclipsa comes along, I need to unite monsters.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think Buff Frog was kind of like a good sort of bridge to Eclipsa.
Well, true. Well, that is a good point, but I was just making a joke for the last ha.
No, I hear you, but I'm glad that we're on the same page regarding Spew, because that's kind of like the thing I was thinking of when the plot line first came into the picture. I was like, oh God, are we going to just spend like all this? Because Dragon, I tell you, like, I love Harry Potter. I really do. Those books are really well written. I love the books way more than the movies. I'll say that much. Like, the movies to me are very hit and miss, but those books, man, mwah. But anyways, as much as I love those books, I really hated reading through the Spew stuff. I really did. I thought the Spew stuff was really on the nose. So I was kind of dreading that same sort of thing, and I didn't want it to make Star's character like... basically, Dragon, my main fear, to sum it up, is I didn't want Star to come off as preachy.
I don't think they've reached that point yet. I mean,
no, I don't. I absolutely don't, and that's.
I mean, though she kind of did with that Starfari episode, but that's really the only time it really did come across as such.
Right, yeah.
All those other ones, it's like she's like actually trying and sometimes you sympathize with her when she doesn't exactly succeed.
Mm. Okay, so getting into the actual episode, so what do you think of this whole of turning Prince Rich Pigeon into a side character now?
Definitely pretty interesting to see in that regard. I mean,
I love the design of Prince Rich Pigeon.
or was his full name is Richard Pigeon?
I love that reveal too, that his real name is actually Rich Pigeon.
It's just not like he's a pigeon and he has money. It's like, nope.
Right, exactly. I love that.
Richard Pigeon is his name.
Oh God. So good.
It is. And the fact that he's able to very quickly learn the human language.
Right. But of course, the episode just quickly spirals out of control. Jacob, of course, Star's wanting to get a signature for her, for her Mumin. Basically, it's like a Mumin and monster peace treaty, right? Something like that.
It's basically a petition of the royal youth.
And so what does Marco do to screw up Jacob?
He basically tries to take Rich Pigeon's leg and forge the signature, and accidentally breaks his leg in the process.
Oh God!
He's like, I said be gentle. I was gentle.
I just love the animation when like Marco like pops the leg back in, back in place, and then it just like pops out. It's like just dangling there.
I kind of felt bad for Rich Pigeon. Oh God.
So Dragon, one of the interesting things is like I could go like obviously the the stuff with the birds quickly spirals out of control, but I could kind of sense the tension in the room just from when Star was making her proposal, and like I got the sense that Rich Pigeon was honestly, with what we know now about Rich Pigeon, he was probably like reluctant. He probably wanted to sign it, but he was reluctant to sign it in front of everyone. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what I got too.
But in the moment, I just thought like, oh man, these birds are just not having it.
Especially with all those peering eyes.
Yeah, right. Like even before things got out of hand, it was still like pretty intimidating.
Of course, Ponyhead was there to lighten the mood.
Yeah. I mean, folks, I feel like we're kind of just like Jenny Slate is almost kind of like the MVP of this season. I feel. I mean, she is just like really. I love the way that Ponyhead has almost kind of become like a third main character in this season. I really do. Like, because honestly, when she was first introduced, I had no idea how to feel about her. But I feel like this season has really gone above and beyond to flesh out her character. And of course, we'll get into that with the next episode, which we'll talk about momentarily. But
and as I keep saying, it's amazing how they took these semi nearly unlikable characters and completely turned them around.
Exactly, like Jana. We have another example, right? Like, help me out here.
There's Ponyhead. There was Ponyhead, of course. There was. I mean, I know the Tom.
Tom, of course, yeah. Although to be fair, I never really considered Tom all that unlikable.
I mean, I know, but it's just gone through as much development as the other ones.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I didn't really dislike Tom from the beginning either. I thought he was very interesting to begin with, but still.
Like, I guess Jana is kind of like the quintessential example.
I mean, they took what could be considered one-note characters and completely fleshed them out.
Right. Like Moon, kind of, because it wasn't like Moon was a bad character in season 1, but she was just honestly kind of, because like basically Moon from season 1 to season 2 is pretty significant.
She was basically the strict mother stereotype.
Yeah, right. Like in season 1, she's just the nagging mom, and then season 2 is almost built entirely around her to a certain extent.
And so are like the first few episodes of this season. Especially,
yeah, as you were saying, like this show does, it's doing a great job of building these characters up, and and especially now, like now that we're kind of the status quo has shifted so dramatically, and like Earth episodes are kind of a rare occurrence, and so we're getting characters like Kelly and Tom who are kind of becoming more in the forefront.
Oh, yeah,
And
that
of
was the
course,
other
as
thing.
we're saying, Ponyhead is kind of, comfortably slid into like the third main character position, I would say.
Oh yeah, Kelly was the other one I was going to mention. That's the one I forgot about. That's at least for the last episode.
I mean, Kelly, I feel like still has a little way to go, but there's definitely stepping stones in place with her.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, as far if the last episode's any indication, right? But the meat of the episode though is like them basically being chased by pigeons.
Yeah, literally, like most of the episode is just like one big chase scene, which I kind of felt was refreshing in a way.
It's like kind of it is kind of like a refreshing season one thing. Like season one meets season two, and it's like they're just all like the humor of season one and like the audacity of some of the humor in season two.
Yeah, exactly.
But especially the giant mechanized legs.
Oh god, all the legs, Dragon, all the legs in this episode just cracked me up. Like I said, I love the design of these pigeons in general, with like the realistic human legs. It's so funny.
Oh god, that was just entirely ridiculous. And then we're just gonna talk about this episode forever. It seems like so. Should we just move on?
Well, I mean, of course, the big reveal at the end is that rich pigeon. We already kind of talked about that, but I like how it's played. Like, it's played so damn dramatically. You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah, it's a bird that knows how to speak English. Like, yo, mother. Like, I taught myself the human tongue, so I could communicate. Basically.
It was basically had all the pathos of like Charlton Heston in Planet of the Apes. And of course, you can't forget the death by 1,000 pecks.
The executioner pigeon.
Yes. Oh, God.
I thought he was going to go full on axe crazy at first.
Oh, man.
Then he threw off his rubber hands for some reason. They have rubber hands and mechanized feet. Crazy. Muni has some crazy pigeons.
Oh, yeah.
All right, then she finally got the signature, which completes the petition, which honestly we haven't really seen the result of yet, unless you count the party as the result. So, who knows?
Okay, so let's move on to Ponymonium.
Yay!
So this is a weird episode.
It was. I mean, again, have you switched the images yet? I can't tell on my side.
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, sorry. But
no, I literally just did, like, after you said something.
Oh, well.
It's all good.
This definitely was a strange episode. We finally got to see the return of King Ponyhead, which, like, I honestly feel sorry for him.
I really like King Ponyhead.
I like him too. He's just like this guy's like trying to be like this, like this lovable dad and all that. And it's just like,
because honestly, like in his other appearances, he kind of came off like, I made the comparison where he sort of felt a little bit like Sarah's dad from The Land Before Time, where he was just like very stern, very serious, but like really that's just his public that's just like the face he puts on for the public. Like in this episode, you see he's a lot more likable, you know what I mean? He's got a lot more, ironically enough, for being a giant floating horse of a head, head horse.
Has he been in any other episodes other than that one?
I think he's just had like cameo appearances. I want to say he's been around, but I think this is probably like the first time he's had a major speaking role.
Yeah, other than that one time when he sent Ponyhead to St. Olga's Reform School.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we finally get to meet her sisters.
Yep, which basically turns the episode into it's basically My Little Pony meets the Loud House.
Pretty much.
That's all I could think the whole time this episode was on.
I didn't get that, but I do see what you mean.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I mostly got a Loud House vibe from this episode.
It is like I said, I do see what you mean, though.
I mean, it's so similar to the Loud House. Like you have the you have the beauty queen, you have the nerd, you have the rocker girl, you have the girly girl.
The twins.
Yep. the baby.
Yep.
Oh god. So I don't know, like that alone to me kind of like makes this episode just like it kind of just blends together for me a little bit.
Yeah, though it's like it's definitely an interesting character exploration for some of them, even though it gets kind of weird near the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess like the thing I did like about this episode quite a bit was how it explored, kind of like how you perceive friends and how friends, like the face that friends put on for you versus the face that they put on for their families.
Yeah, it's like how Pony's like completely different. No, the shade's actually pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the sisters are the one that like pretty much putting on the face. Which so it's like, was their sister really gone, or was she hiding in the closet the whole time? Like to frame Ponyhead.
Yeah, that was confusing to me. I didn't even like really follow that all that well.
It's like, was she really gone, or were they just telling her that she was? Does King Ponyhead know?
I know that's the thing that I didn't get at all was like how in on it was King Ponyhead.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I'm like, how long was she gonna hide in the closet for?
Now, Dragon, one thing, or Jacob, I'm sorry. Jenny Slate, she plays all the sisters, right?
I don't think she does.
You don't think so? Okay, it sounded like different variations on her voice, but that could just be me like wanting to prop her up even more. So I apologize if that's not the case. Honestly, I'm trying to look up who played like the side characters in this episode, but I'm not getting anything. So
I mean, it is entirely possible that she did. I mean, I just don't think that they did.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have a ton to say about this episode because it's honestly, I think out of the episodes that we're talking about tonight, like out of the 5, like, split up between the 2 podcasts, of course, this is probably the weakest one. It's not to say it's bad. I mean, I think there are quite a few good things about it. Like we said, it develops King Ponyhead quite a bit. And like I said, the main thing I do like about it is kind of like how it sort of shined a new light on Star's friendship with Ponyhead. You know what I mean? How like Star's kind of going to look at Ponyhead in sort of a different light after this, which I thought was really relatable, Jacob, because, I've been down that road before with friends where it's like, like friends show you a different side of themselves. And, I've been both the friend that's shown a different side to someone. And I've been on the end where a friend's shown a different side to me. You know what I mean? And either way, it's a troubling situation. So that to me was kind of like the high point of the episode, how it explored that. It's just all the Loud House nonsense was just weird and semi off-putting to me.
Pretty much. I mean, like I said, plus the whole execution idea. It's like, all right, like it just kind of like fell out of weird, kind of fell into a weird territory. It's like, okay, are they gonna kill her, or are they gonna do
and then
this?
it's like they apparently do it every day, every dinner, but then like, is it like a joke or is it serious? Or yeah, it's just tonally, I thought this episode was like really off.
It's like they didn't know what they wanted to do. I mean, don't forgive us, audience. We could very well be being stupid and not see the deep layers in this.
I mean, I really I don't think this episode is like, like ripping up the Reddit charts or anything like that. So I think we're pretty safe.
No, but like it almost seems like Star was just there. Like she didn't even really do much either.
Well, like I said, I'm sorry to be a broken record, but like I thought Star was there her role was to observe, which I thought she didn't do a ton, but I don't think the episode was structured around her. So
I know, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus I saw that Ponyhead probably really was like, it's like she was telling the truth about her sisters. Like
exactly.
Like, they are kind of crazy.
Oh God, right.
And now watching this, it does really seem like Ponyhead is like even if like maybe the kingdom's not as doomed as we thought, considering that like they have these other ones. Like maybe Ponyhead is the best option. It's like who would ever thought we'd say that? just like she said yesterday in the previous episode, Marco is right. Like, whoever thought I'd say that out loud.
So, did any of the different Ponyhead sisters stand out to you at all?
And I mean, I don't even remember any of their names, but like I said, they all seem at least they're all unique personality wise, at least.
I guess out of all of them, my favorites were probably the twins.
Yeah, especially when they did the whole creepy twins thing.
Right. I mean, creepy twins is like an avenue that cartoons go down quite frequently, but I don't know. It's a trope for a reason. It works.
Yeah, like thanks for that, Kubrick.
Right. All right. Let's see. So, Jacob, I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything. Anything else you need to say about this one?
Not really.
Okay, then. So, thanks for joining us, folks, and we will actually be back very, very soon. You should be seeing our podcast for the next 3 episodes. It'll be let's see, Nightlife, Deep Dive, and Monster Bash. That'll be coming up very, very soon, like within the next 20 minutes or so, probably. So yeah, look for that. In the meantime, stay tuned till next time when things get a little weird, a little wild, yet again.
Oh, girl.
Seriously, how weird are those sisters?
Yes.
So weird. It's too weird.